Hey, Mary, that's Lori.
Yeah.
How are you, ma'am? Hello, everybody. We made it. We'll let some folks get in here. Who's that?
Cable prices have
Oops,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
You did what I did last time.
I forgot to mute it. Whoopsies. Josh is having me use this bigger screen so that way I can see y'all's comments
Yeah, but you
better.
could set it right there.
Well, I can't see it that far. I need it up close.
Well, you better get you some new glasses.
I just got new glasses.
If you can't see it right there in front of you.
Well, I like to scroll back and forth so that way I can see it.
Okay. Does that help you?
Not really. My other one's a little bit better because then I can hold it close. But
You want to switch?
we'll give it a
Your
try.
other one's right there.
We'll give it a whirl. Maybe I'll get them both going, and between the two, I can super see.
Miss Joanna, how are you, ma'am? Miss Laurie? Beignet?
I bet y'all are chuckling at us.
So I think TJ, that's Terry, right? It still says delinquent.
Yes.
Miss Linda,
And Bill,
Bill. So Bill, how you
Corin.
doing, sir?
Melissa.
That's MJ, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Karen, how you doing, Miss Karen? It's good to see you guys. I'm vertical. Good. It's a good thing.
Yes. Above the daisies.
You don't want to be pushing them up. Hey, there's Lazaria. Hey, everybody, if you haven't checked out Lazaria's YouTube channel, go check it out. She's been doing some things at her house for seeing if spirits are attached to different items and just connecting with family. She connected with a soldier the other day I seen, so that was awesome. So y'all go check her out. And Lazaria, if you want to put your channel in the comments, definitely do that. For sure. Karen. Kelsey.
Hi.
All right. Are you guys doing all right tonight? Hope everybody ate supper. Got a full belly.
Yes. We had some delicious Thai food.
Yeah, we went and I tried chopsticks, but
Oh, that was a disaster.
fails every time.
He about took me out with a pot sticker trying that.
What's Lazaria say?
Lazaria said, okay, hold on, I gotta flip this around because I
I
can't
wish we
read
could
it
figure out how to keep it up on the screen.
She said, I was trying to session with the dog, even trying to bribe them with the dog. Sadly, no ball activity.
I don't know, but she got a lot of cat activity with her cats.
Mm-hmm.
And a horse, I think, named BB or something like that. Starts with a Bob, maybe? I can't remember. I think it was Bob or Bobby.
And she said, I got John Moore, Tiffany Dad, come through with me. It's up on Detective Lazaria.
Yeah, well, Detective Lazaria, she's solving cases, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
She's kicking butt. Yes, Bobby. Okay, good. MJ, how you doing? Well, good. Well, we thought we would kind of go live today and just. I know you guys have some questions about.
Sorry.
That was Kelsey. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to send you for a ride. I'm trying to
No
figure out which screen to use. Sorry.
No earthquake today.
No
Kentucky.
earthquake, just me.
Y'all here is okay? The air might kick on. It's warm today, so I would have turned it off, but she'd get a little hot over here. Then she might just she might get mad and out of nowhere just start whipping on me over here, y'all. She get too hot.
Lazaria said, plus a missing person named Judy who might have been unconscious in a car in water.
Wow. Okay, I missed that one, Lazaria. I try to keep up with you. I get busy and stuff, so I don't catch them all. I try to, though. At night, after I'm done, I just usually go watch them. I'll have to check that one out.
Mm-hmm.
But we just wanted to see if you guys had any questions about the theater.
Yeah.
There's a lot of activity there.
Yes.
A lot of peace and activity. So, Elizabeth, how you doing? River Rider.
We could start with the first video with the children when we were up in the hallway. I know we had a lot of activity with the cat balls there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about the children or anything, need some fuel.
Lazaria said, the dog took energy from me so much my vision started to go very lightheaded. Yeah, they definitely can take energy from you during sessions.
We felt all kinds of different emotions. Sadness and anger and low energy. We've felt it all at times.
Linda's asking, when are we going back to the Opera House?
We're thinking maybe around Christmas.
Yeah. Since they really, especially the children, since they really enjoyed the Christmas activities there, we thought that would be a good time to go back and interact with them because we're fellow Christmas lovers too.
Yeah. But I ain't touching the tree. Y'all heard him say, don't touch the tree.
Yeah, not allowed to touch the tree.
I ain't touching the tree, y'all. I ain't touching the tree. Miss Melissa, how you doing, ma'am?
Joanna had asked, oh wait, I think I skipped over MJ's question. MJ had said, do you expect to get as much activity as you did from the theater? Kind of, because when we had visited the theater before, in the main house, as they call it, we hadn't experienced a lot, but we knew something was there, and we knew from watching previous evidence from other investigators that there was a lot of activity, but we just didn't know what we personally would experience. So it's like we were kind of prepared for it, but also kind of surprised.
Yeah, because I was not expecting to get any names. Was not expecting to get any, especially about the Shadow Man and the lady in white, Miss Betty. They've been trying to get that information for so long.
Yeah.
And the fact that we got it, literally, we got it in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. I wasn't expecting that.
The best way to say it is we knew there would be activities, activity going on, but we didn't expect so much personal interaction.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the surprising part, was how personal it was and how much they connected with us.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then the man, the Shadow Man, talking about his what he did.
Yes.
Officer, he was connected to the war.
Yes.
And that orb going right by and the light turning yes like that.
Yes.
Wow, that was wild.
Yes. And then Joanna asks, what did it feel like when the kids are around? I would say
kind of crowded.
And then it was also kind of joyful, but the kids were very very touchy. We were sitting on a couch similar to this, and when a child walks up to you and they kind of lean against your leg to lean in and look, that's what it felt like. They kept leaning on us, and then they kept wanting to hold our hands too. So they were the children were very touchy.
Yes, and there's a lot that you guys didn't see that was off camera. We had a lot of hugging. Before during a break, we were charging our equipment. And I'm standing in the hallway, and everything's charging. We got everything charging because it's wild. They drained the battery big time. So we're charging everything up, and we're standing there. I think I'm eating some beef jerky.
Yeah, we brought snacks.
Brought some beef jerky, and I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I feel this pull on my shirt. Y'all don't know this. I haven't talked about this. I wanted to save it for the live. But I have this pull on my shirt. And Kelsey was she was behind me a little bit. And I'm standing there. I wasn't moving because I'm like, okay, it's not me. It's kind of neat. I want to see what happens, And I feel more pulling on the bottom of my shirt. And then I feel like if a kid was to give you a hug around the waist. I felt that, but the wild thing was I got really cold, all the hair on my arm just standing up, but it felt peaceful, like love, just like a loving hug. And Kelsey walks up behind me. She said, "Josh, your shirt is moving," and I said, "I know." I said, "Something's happening. I think I'm getting hugged."
Yeah.
So Kelsey starts talking and asking them questions, and it was just incredible. They would hug tighter, and then they would hug step away, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
It really was.
The kids were very special.
And they like to sit by us a lot, so that's why we always make sure we invite them. So.
Yeah.
Corrine, how you doing, Corrine?
Linda said she votes for Christmas too. Thank you, Mal. They said Kelsey and Josh are amazing.
Thank you.
Melissa said, love the series. Will y'all do more?
Yeah, hey Josh, that's Josh Dawson. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Was you out today filming? So I just saw him pop in.
No, you're fine. They were just asking, will we love the series, will you do more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we plan to do some other investigations. So we got some things lined up. Probably when it cools off, it's going to get really hot here really quick. It's already heating up, y'all know. So I think though fall time we got some things we want to schedule. Fall, winter, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dana had said there were so many orbs. That was amazing. And what was interesting is like once it picked up, I would say on the last like 2 video, well, no, even the second, I would say the lady in white, the upstairs, and of course the shadow man, there's tons of orbs all throughout the videos. But this last one with the shadow man was a lot of orbs.
Yes. Yeah. So, tons of, and a lot of it, I thought I'd seen with my own eyes, but it was 4 a.m. and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to start speculating, you know, and say, oh, did you see that? But on the looking through the camera, it was just, you could really see it, and it was hard not to get excited, to be honest, y'all. It was real hard.
Yes. And then, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
Josh,
scrolling.
Josh was always, come on over.
Yes. Scrolling back up. I moved back to my small screen because with the big one, I was thumping the camera and running into things.
I was gonna say, maybe sometime we'll come out and do some filming with Joshua out there in Georgia.
Oh, yes, that would be fun.
We do come through that way pretty often, so.
Yes. Somebody had a question about the children. They had said they pulled on you, Josh. Wow, that gives me chills.
Yeah, they hugged. They were hugging, and actually, we got the dowsing rods out. Which you guys haven't really seen a lot of those yet on here. We didn't have an opportunity for that, but we were asking questions with the rods about the hug, and they were. It was incredible, y'all. It was incredible. It was powerful.
Beignet Lori asked, the kiddos break my heart, but they seem so happy. Do we know how they passed? So during the video we did in the hallway, we did ask, and we got kind of different answers. Some had mentioned fire. Some of them kind of didn't know, but I would say fire was probably the most common.
Yeah.
At least that I remember.
You're talking about
for the children on how they passed.
Fire, yeah, and it honestly felt like too that like that was like a place where they like to go, like it felt really full. I mean, that'd be a lot of children.
Yeah,
it would be a lot of children. And
I know they had also said throughout the video, and then also when we did the live there, that they feel safe there. And so it also seemed like a lot of kids didn't necessarily like pass in that area, but it was just a place that they would come to because they felt
like a refuge.
Yeah, it was like a safe place for them to go, and they were welcome there because nobody seems to mind that the children are there.
And maybe that's why the officer is always kind of patrolling, always on the shadows of the wall. I mean, he kind of confirmed that. And he talked about checking doors, and he watches safety, things like that, and he was connected to the war.
Yeah.
So, and we're guessing the Civil War.
Yes.
That's what I would assume.
And then they had said,
I think Joshua said he'd come our way too. That'd be cool. Hey, we might even meet in the middle. You never know.
Let's see.
Oh, let's see.
Yes, he did say I'll make my way there. Let's see. They asked, oh, when is Waverly, Tennessee? We definitely have that on our list.
Yeah,
to get out that way.
Was that Miss Tammy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get out there, Miss Tammy. We got some ideas for that area as well. We gotta find the time. It's so busy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was gone for 2 weeks, almost, basically 2 weeks in a row, just traveling for work, just on the road, and then we had to go to Texas. But Kelsey got to come with me down to Texas for that one, so
Mm-hmm.
just quick trip there.
The good thing about Tennessee, similar to here, it gets hot during the day, but at night it cools off, so you can still get out and get about.
Yeah.
In
Some
the
nights
summer.
are a little nicer. Yeah, so try to do something maybe in the evening there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think we're all caught up.
Maybe come to Brushy Mountain. We want to go to Brushy Mountain,
Oh
actually.
yeah, we have looked into that before.
Yeah. Are you around there, Miss Melissa? I think you're in Kentucky, I know. Or no, you're in Tennessee.
They do say that prison's pretty active. That they get, especially for women, that they get a lot of like pulling on the clothes, touching.
Yeah.
They hear a lot of voices there. So we have looked into that one. Thought it'd be interesting to investigate.
Yeah, that would be. That'd be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
That's an old prison, but if you look at the history, it wasn't too long ago, really.
Mm-mm.
I think it closed in like the early '90s, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you come to Nevada? We love Nevada. We do. We haven't done any investigations out there yet, but we definitely want to. We actually were supposed to be there recently. Actually, last week we were supposed to be in the Vegas area, and we had the conference we were going to got postponed, so we ended up being in Texas anyway instead. So
Yeah.
we had something cool lined up though for Las Vegas. So I'm not going to tell you because
It could be coming
it's going to happen. So
sometime.
but yes, ma'am, we sure do. Carson City.
Joanna, that was very kind. She said, I think the spirits know Josh and Kelsey and trust them. Then Mal had said, hugs are even better. Your joy and prayers you share in life to the spirits that haven't been spoken to is incredible. I love that you pray for all spirits.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we couldn't go and not at least say a little prayer of peace over everybody around us, you know.
Yeah. So what other questions or things do y'all want to talk about from the Opera House? I think I've caught up on any questions, and if I missed your question, just send it again, because I think I've scrolled through all of them, but I'm sorry if I missed any.
Yeah, we will be going live probably out at a cemetery or somewhere pretty soon. So we usually film on weekends. That's the only days we're really off, Saturdays mainly. So we try to film on Saturdays, but the last few weekends we've been filming, so we haven't got to go live.
Yeah.
So I feel like we missed a question. I don't know.
No, I read that one. We're all caught up.
All caught up.
Yeah, just waiting for them to submit them back in again.
You guys got any questions? Red coat, please explain.
So
Kathleen, how you doing, Miss Kathleen? By the way?
So when we got to the Opera House, well, let me back up. When we first got to the Opera House, Josh and I actually went and saw the play that was featured that night. We went and saw
Still Magnolias?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then after the play had finished, we went and got our equipment, got settled in, and then Amber, who's one of the workers there, she took us around on a tour to kind of explain the history and then kind of where the hot spots were and like where, certain activity was being reported and things. So when we had gotten up to the original hall up on the third level, she had pointed out the red jacket and had said that she had been through there earlier and that was not in there. And as far as she knows, she doesn't know who that belongs to. So that's why when we were up there, we thought we would ask about it because she, didn't know where that came from because it wasn't up there earlier in the day.
Yeah. Not, who knows how long it's been around or where it was hiding or anything like that. It's funny because we asked whose it is and it said the theater.
Yeah.
That was their response. So I don't know, but that was wild. That was wild.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned a place in South Florida to investigate.
Let's see. They said
we are in Florida pretty often. So.
So this theater. Oh, I'm in South Florida. The Strahan House is very nice. Feels like something watching you. That was from Dana.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the Strahan? Is that like a bed and breakfast or like a old plantation or something?
And then Linda said, I wonder if the community used the building there as a safe place for kids during the war. It is possible because the street that it's on is Pike Street. And that street we know was like a main hub of where the Union and Confederates would march through.
Yeah.
And there were several fires, but where that building is, if the building like burned or there was destruction, they just rebuilt in that same area. So it's definitely possible that it could have been a refuge at that time.
And we know there's a few churches around there in the area. So.
Yeah. And then Tara said, would the red coat have anything to do with the Revolutionary War?
we
had
talked about
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Who knows? I mean, they said they'd never seen it.
Yeah.
So Amber that showed us around, she might be in here now. I'm not sure. She is a supporter of the channel, which was ironic because I had no idea. We just went in there and we said, "Hey, we're here to do the investigation tonight," and she's like, "Oh, you look familiar," and she's like, "Anywhere south?" I was like, "Yeah." So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But she showed us around and said that she didn't never seen it, that no one knows how it got there. So.
Tara did provide another good explanation that it could have been a costume for a play, which is true. They wouldn't have kept the stuff up there, but it could have ended up there by a different worker or something. So.
Miss Terry, how you doing, Miss Terry?
Joanna said, I bet that was a good show talking about Steel Magnolias.
Yeah, and it's not really my, excuse me, I'm not a theater kind of guy.
Getting choked up thinking about it?
No, I'm not really the theater type, but that was pretty funny. I was more interested because I wanted to ask see how when we did the conversations, to see if they talked about anything, which they did. It was pretty neat. And they knew right where we were sitting. That was wild. They knew the same exact row, and I was in the first seat in row J.
Yeah, and we hadn't said like out loud like where our tickets were, anything like that. So when we had asked them, they knew exactly like what row and like what seat we were in. So I thought that was neat because then it seemed like we were almost watching the show together.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
One said he was hiding. He was out there hiding.
Yes. They said.
Now, the next place we'd really like to investigate would probably be the lighthouse in St. Augustine. If we can get a private, like where it's just us, it's not a group. I like group things just to, I guess just to kind of learn about, but I always like to go back after the group investigations and do our own thing because it's not really the same. You know, it's hard to investigate in a group.
Yeah.
When you got a lot of people. If it's a small group though, 4 or 5 people or less, then it's not bad. But when you got 20 people,
yeah, it makes it a little bit harder.
Somebody's always breathing in your ear, and you're like, oh, calm down.
Dana had said that the house you were asking about was an old trader's post, I think in the first fort in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
No, old trader's post, the first in Fort Lauderdale. I read that funny.
Okay. We're actually we'll be in Florida soon, and we got an interesting video that we are going to be doing there. Something you guys haven't seen on this channel. So we're excited for you guys to see that for sure. Lighthouse are notoriously haunted. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think it'd be cool. I don't think I've ever been in a lighthouse. Have you? Well, that one, you've probably been in the St. Augustine.
Yeah, I have been.
I've never been in one.
Yeah. Mal asks, have you ever thought of going to an underground cave to talk to spirits? There are several in the South.
Yeah. Yeah, we have several around us. A lot of them you can't get to. They got them blocked off. But yeah, there's some. We have thought about that for sure. Cave City has a bunch.
Yeah.
That's not far from us.
Well,
Horse Cave,
the national park's not far from here. Mammoth Cave.
Mammoth Cave. We got Mammoth Cave nearby, and Cave City's got several. Yeah.
The national parks can be a little hard to investigate sometimes because there's so many people, but sometimes you can find like an off the beaten path trail or something. So
Yeah. Yeah.
They're making me laugh. They said that we're famous in the spirit world. They said we're celebrities.
Hey, I think I'd rather be famous on that side than this side, just because we'll spend a lot more time on that side than we're going to on this side. So.
And Joanna said lighthouses are notoriously haunted. I think you already read that one. Sorry.
I thought Joshua said something. So did someone else. Miss Terry.
He had said different energies, I feel, make it harder to. I think that's in relation to.
Maybe the caves.
I think so. So MJ said, after seeing other clips from the theater, do you both think that you may have had more interaction than anyone else?
I mean, I would say it's hard to answer that because I don't know how much interaction they had. I would say no one has gotten, from the videos that we've watched and then talking to this people that work there and run the place. It doesn't seem like they've gotten that type of information. They've had things move and they've heard whispers and seen the shadows. But as far as like information, it doesn't seem like they. I mean, I don't think they got too many names at all over the years, really. Maybe a couple. There's one video, it's on their website too, that got, what was her name? Loretta. And it said that was a girl, children's spirit of a child. But yeah, I don't know, really.
Yeah. When you first walk into the theater in the lobby area, they have kind of like a bench there and they have a black book. And in the black book is like a notebook where people who have investigated there, they can write down their experience, maybe like where they had a lot of activity, any information. So they do encourage you before you get started, or like anytime you visit the theater, if you want to sit down and kind of thumb through that, you can. So I will say there have been tons of investigations over the years, and there is like a lot of similar activity where people do experience like hearing whispers, maybe knocking, maybe footsteps, but there wasn't like a whole lot of like one-on-one interaction. So I do feel like that was unique for our experience that night. That was kind of surprising, was like how much they did want to like one-on-one interact with us.
And so fast too. I've noticed sometimes when you watch certain investigations, it'll take them a while to start getting interactions and hearing things. But for us, it really happened in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just instant, which was good. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, I felt like it was a good thing.
So yeah,
yeah, it was definitely very special that they were like so eager to talk with us and interact with us so quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like that energy that they had, like it gave us like more energy. It's like we were feeding off of each other's energy. So it's like made us like really excited and like, you know, wanting to continue and to engage. And before we knew it, it was like, what, 4:30 in the morning, and we're like, oh, I guess we got to start wrapping up. But we honestly probably could have kept going a little bit longer, and it just went by that fast just because they were like so excited and willing to interact with us. The time just flew by.
Yeah, I think we didn't leave till like 5 a.m. We got there at 6, right? 6:30.
Yeah, we got there at 6:30 because we were watching Steel Magnolias, and then we stayed afterwards and then started investigating.
Yeah.
So it was a long but exciting evening.
Yeah. Sure was. Catholic Biker Queen, how are you? Good to see you.
They said everyone knows Tara in the spirit world.
Terry, you changed your screen name. It threw me off for a second. At least you had the delinquency thing right there. So I was like, that must be her.
And then Spider, oh, where did it go? Catholic Biker Queen came in and said hello. I thought I saw something from someone else, but then it disappeared. So, all right, that's everything there.
Did you guys have a favorite video of the investigation? Like where we, did you like the kids or Miss Betty or the Shadow Man? Thought it was interesting when we were upstairs and how they were kind of messing with the flux. You know how they were staying right by it?
Music hall when it stayed on red.
Yeah, in the upstairs in the main part, the old original part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny, but it seemed like the way we felt was the Whistler man doesn't understand, or he knew we were there, but he wanted us to talk to somebody else that needed some help, some peace, and they kept saying peace, prayer.
Yes.
He asked, "Would you talk to her?" And then there was a lady that needed help, so it kind of seemed like he was just like, "I'd rather you talk to her." That's how. So maybe next time, maybe Christmas time, who knows? We'll bring some little sleigh bells with us.
Yes.
Little reindeer magic dust, and maybe he'll talk. I don't know. What else you got?
Lazaria was saying, if GhostTube app gets a name, please tell me the name of a loved one that passed, because it comes up on GhostTube. It might be them coming through. So, for example, if Judy comes through, then she knows that it's for me, because it's related to Mom.
But GhostTube's pretty good. We've used that. We used it a couple times. I think we've had more success with the other ones.
With Spirit Talker.
Now there's one with a picture though.
Oh.
Where they can give you an image, and I think that's part of the GhostTube thing.
Okay.
I'd definitely like to try that one for sure.
Yes. Terry said, I need to watch them again. I'm working again and so tired. And then Tara said the orbs were crazy.
It was wild.
Yes. And even when you would stop and kind of zoom in on them, a lot of the times the orbs were like kind of milky or foggy in a way.
Yeah. Well, what the wild part is like we were watching a lot of that in front of us. We just couldn't fully tell, are we actually seeing something or are we just tired?
Yes.
Like 4 a.m. We might be tired and y'all might not see it, and then we over here looking like a fool.
Yes, getting excited.
Yeah.
Kimi said the session with the kids was her favorite.
Kids, okay.
Linda said it's hard to pick. Melissa said the kids. Joanna said the last one was really crazy active.
That one was neat. They're all good. I can't really pick a favorite, but I'd have to say Miss Betty.
Yeah.
Is probably my favorite because the way it felt. It really felt like you were sitting down and it's it was just loving. It was just love. It was just a feeling of love.
Yes.
Warm hug. It felt different than the others.
Yes.
And the Shadow Man, that seemed more like a it was all respect, and he respected us, and everything was about respect, and he didn't want to talk too much, but it's he wanted us to know he was there. He just had to remain private. So now that we listened and went back, we understand why a little bit more, a little easier to understand.
Yes. Mal said, Kelsey and Josh, I think the spirits are drawn to you as your spirits are open, gentle, kind. I love that about you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And then Kathleen was letting Lazaria know that her mom has been coming through her dreams. And then Courtney.
Lazaria's mom's coming through?
No, Kathleen was telling Lazaria that her mom, Kathleen's
Oh.
mom, yeah,
Okay. Your mom's been coming through, Kathleen?
on her
dreams?
dreams, yeah.
Wow.
And then Courtney was saying hello to everyone.
Courtney.
Bill said, I use both Ghost Tube and Spirit Talker. Bill, since you use both Ghost Tube and Spirit Talker, do you notice that you get like similar responses? I'm trying to make sure I'm saying that right. Like if you use one and then switch to the other, like do you notice that they're pretty accurate or?
Like similar responses?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Brandy, how you doing? I hope you're feeling better. Brandy had a procedure done.
Oh.
She's a professional cage fighter. And I told her, I said, Brandy, it's probably time you give it up, okay? You've been a world champion for years. Now it's time to quit fighting, hang it up. She said she'll think about it, so I don't know.
Elizabeth said, have you thought of investigating the Lost Sea Cave in Springwater, Tennessee? Native American history, fossil, jaguar fossil there is touristy these days, but might be cool if done privately.
Well, I've never heard of that.
Never heard of it, so I'll have to look into it.
Well, yeah, we'll go back and we'll write down that, what is it, a spring?
Sea cave, Lost Sea Cave.
Lost Sea Cave.
Yeah. And then Miss Linda explained to Lazaria that we've spoken with her family. And then MJ had said the responses and energy were amazing during the visit. Do you think the energy will be more charged at Christmas? I feel like it potentially could be just because there's so much excitement, not just among the spirits, but just among the people that visit the theater. And
because it's our high time.
it's like, yeah, because October is really busy for them because they do ghost walks, I think 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
And then they also have like different movie specials and events that they do. And then there's kind of a little bit of a break, but then the whole town does a lot for Christmas. It's almost like a Hallmark movie there. And so there's like a lot of energy from the community. And then with the spirits, I feel like it could definitely. One thing we haven't talked about yet that we brought up a little bit in our videos is there's an aquifer that runs under the theater. And so that seems to kind of charge things up a little bit there. And then also it kind of seems to open the door a little bit where there is more spirits kind of coming and going through the theater.
Yes. And that's another thing we haven't really talked about yet, but when you're at the video with the Shadow Man, right? Mm-hmm. It felt, honestly, it kind of felt like possibly there was like a portal. And we're not the only ones that felt that way, because other people have kind of felt there was possibly a portal in there, which kind of makes sense with the aquifer. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I mean, when they said, talking to him, he mentioned, or one of them mentioned lots of spirits, mm-hmm. and he was watching them. So maybe it is like a portal.
Yes. They said, Tara said limestone and water does charge spirit energy. And they said, oh boy, a portal.
That would be something interesting.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense, especially with all the activity, the orbs and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To answer our question, well, my question I had earlier, Bill had said ghost tube seems more accurate for him.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And then...
Do you have the one with the pictures? And let me know if you've tried that. If any of y'all will try the one with the pictures. Because we've talked to people, and some people said it's kind of not accurate. And then other people said the pictures were spot on. So I don't know, what's your experience? I'd like to try that one sometime. I would love to go to a cemetery where we actually know more of how someone passed away and see if we can get that image on the screen. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Let us know what you guys think, though.
Yes. They had said the whole series was good. Miss Betty was awesome. Loved all the orbs in the last one. Sherry said, hello, late in joining. Hubby and I went to spend time with our daughter. Hubby and grandson, hope everyone's doing good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
They said all the videos were awesome. They enjoyed the series. Shadow Man was cool. One thing I thought was really neat about the Shadow Man is when we first were talking with him, his answers were very like direct, and then like he would answer, but then certain questions he wouldn't answer. And so it's like he wanted to interact, but he wasn't like interacting too much. So then when he finally said he was an officer, I feel like a light bulb went off, and it just made sense of like why he was responding that way, why he was behaving that way. So I thought that was a neat conversation.
Yeah.
To get that piece of information, because then it really explained like his behavior and the way that he interacts with everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Who knows what his job was?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just wasn't allowed to say anything.
Yeah. Terry had said, Ghost Tube Fox is interesting. I think it's harder for spirits to use.
Is that the picture one?
It doesn't specify. Let me keep scrolling down here.
Yeah, because that'd be neat. Like if a lot of people had good success with it, it'd be good to try.
Lazaria said that she likes the flux, and same with Victoria.
Yeah.
The flux is nice, and the spirits seem to really like using that device too, because it's easy for them. And we like it because you can kind of set like the distance on it. So then that way, if it is a spirit that maybe is like a little shyer, you can kind of like crank it up so then they don't have to get as close, but they can still like interact with it. Because we had noticed with the REM pod that they weren't using it as much. And then during our live that night, they had told us that they were afraid of electric shock.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't want to use it.
And we kept getting with the Spirit Talker app. We kept getting on the Spirit Talker app electricity. It was just kept saying electricity. And then they would talk about shock. So we thought, well, maybe they were afraid of that for some reason.
Yeah, so like the flux seems to be like something similar, but it's not as like intimidating for them to use because it's not making like such a loud noise and colors and everything. It's a lot more simple.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they say you can't use the flux, you shouldn't use the flux outside, but we've used it outside and we've had good success both ways.
Yeah, and when we've used it outside, we've usually turned down the sensitivity, so then that way, like, the wind and everything doesn't set it off as much, and it seems to still be pretty accurate.
Right, yeah.
So, Mal had asked Josh and Kelsey, wondering if you ever have smells that come through, like colognes or perfumes.
Yes, we've smelt that. One time we smelt pipe tobacco. And then we find out later that the area we were at, that we weren't the only ones. A lot of people had smelt it, and they see a man that would walk by in a trench coat and a hat, and he was always smoking a pipe, and people would smell it. And we smelt it before.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotten fragrances like perfumes. We've smelt perfumes before.
Yeah.
They come and smell me.
I was just about to say they like to smell Josh.
They always say I smell good. But there's time, like when we were in Florida, St. Augustine, and we're in that cemetery. And I could literally feel like somebody was smelling me. And then they talk about it. And I'm like, that is wild. I had a ghost smelling me. You know, that's wild.
At least you smell good.
Hey, they most liked it. I didn't get kicked or punched or nothing, so.
To answer your question about the one that has the images, it's Tara had said Ghost Tube Seer. I think it's what it's called.
Seer?
Seer.
S-E-A-R?
S-E-E-R. Seer.
Oh, seer, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll look into that. You guys think we should try that? Let us know.
Lazaria said you need to pay to get better images from AI library. Do you mean on that app? So for it to come through like more clear that you have to pay extra for the AI images?
That's the only thing. AI.
Because Tara said that she has the free version. So then I wonder. Yes, Tara said yes. So in order to get the clearer pictures, like the AI clear pictures, you have to pay for those.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we might try that then. Just like buy it, maybe buy the. I wonder if you can buy like the paid version and.
Like a trial?
Yeah.
I don't know. We can look into it and see. Brandy said last video was awesome.
Thank you, Brandy.
see. Lori said they didn't use the flux as much in the last video. No, especially near the end. And I know when we had kind of gotten to the end of the last video, we had been interacting and talking with them for what, several hours by that point.
Yeah.
So we just didn't know if like their energy was just zapped by that point because we had been going.
We filmed that after we ended the live. So if y'all
Yeah.
remember the live, and I said we just got a couple more things to do, and then we're heading out of here. That's when we filmed the. We charged our stuff, and then we went and filmed that last video before we left. Yeah, I don't know. They might have been worn out by that time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And then
What are they talking about? It's not really expensive.
they said it's free and then the paid one's not very expensive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll try it.
Sherry said you must have great aftershave. It's actually the cologne.
It's cologne. It's cologne. And if I told y'all where I bought it, I'm kind of a cologne. I like cologne. You know, I gotta have some good cologne.
Always has to be smelling good.
Not Old Spice, because I like Old Spice. Actually, I like some of the smell, but it reminds me of my grandpa. And, you know, I don't want my wife telling me I smell like my grandpa. So.
Yes. Timmy's asking, so any thoughts on why we hear the guides more on the Sono box?
I think it's mainly, maybe how it's loaded. The word banks are loaded, maybe. I feel like they have a little more freedom to express themselves with the necrophonic for some reason, because we've gotten responses and big words or words that mean like that make you think like, wait, did they just say that? With the necrophonic, I think so. But
and sometimes the things that they've said on the necro makes me think like, oh, that sounds like Walter, or oh, that sounds like Mary Ellen, and it's like they say things that sound similar, but I don't necessarily hear their name. But on the Sono, they like say their name and then say like what they have to say. But on the necro, it seems that like they're not necessarily always announcing themselves.
yeah, and we asked our spirit guides, if you remember, what was it, live a few months back. We had asked Walter if he still comes through, if our spirit guides still come through on the necrophonic, even when we can't hear them. And he said always. They're always there. They're always watching. That was his response. We're always there, always watching. So so they probably do come through. They don't announce their names, or it sounds, because we all know it sounds, there's a certain sound when Walter says his name, or Mary Ellen, Adrian, it's got a certain sound to it. And it might just sound different on that app, and we're just not used to it.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder, it seems like with the Sono, you can get multiple spirits at once, whereas on the Necro, it's kind of more of a one at a time kind of get in line. So then also, too, I wonder if they're there, but kind of more in the background, because it is more of like one talking at a time. There's not as much like chiming in.
Right. And what I've noticed, too, and I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but Mary Ellen will pop in and tell us, just stop in, or like encourage us, love what you're doing. This is fantastic. Like the last time she said, this is excellent. Flawless. She said flawless, I believe. Something like that. And they come in and just tell us those things, like just seeing in, or, you know, just watching in. That's pretty cool when they do that. I like that.
Brandon came in, so they were saying hello to him.
Brandon.
And then they were saying, I like the Necro.
Hey, Brandon. How are you, brother? We like them both. It's hard to pick a favorite. The Necro is different. We like that more when we're trying to hear, like,
something more like on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lazari said, I tried Sono, but it was too fast, even with slow speed.
You know, it is hard. It is faster. Sometimes, depending on the amount of spirits around you, it will slow down. If you guys go back and listen to some of the conversations we've done, and we've had it to where it's just like a much slower speed, like less spirits coming in at once. But it almost feels like that necro one just opens up more for the spirits to come through, maybe. Like you get maybe a lot more spirits coming through at once versus the other one.
And then they're talking about cologne, and Joanna said, Dana, I smell my grandma all the time. Dana said, my husband smells like weed. And then
That's funny.
um,
Hey, at least you know. I guess he's having a good time wherever he's at. He's over there with you. You smell it. You know he's having a good time.
Tara said, necrophonic's creepy, but clear.
It is clear, and it's not as creepy when you hear positive things, like when they're saying nice words or complimenting. It's not as, it takes the creepiness factor away from it.
Sherry said, necrophonic isn't as scary anymore to me. Just hearing the responses not being so creepy. The sound with the reverb is still a little creepy, but the responses are pleasant. So,
Yeah.
Right. We're all caught up again.
We didn't miss no questions?
Nope. Didn't miss any.
Yeah, there's a few places we'd like to do some investigating in. We'd like to go back to Waverly. I feel like everybody kind of goes to Waverly, but I wouldn't mind going back there, and it's just a big place.
It is.
It's a big place. But I'd do it. I don't know. My mom's around. I know my mom's around. Okay.
Smelling the perfume.
Perfume, gotcha.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I got distracted.
Lost your train of thought?
Yeah.
Were you going to say something about the theater again?
Oh, Do the. I know we've been to Savannah Theater a lot, but I just want to go in and just do it all, just us. Just go in and do that theater like we did this one. Just because now the spirits at Savannah Theater are very familiar with us. I mean, we've been there probably 7 or 8 times, I would say.
Yeah.
But we've never done a private investigation, so I think we will. I might talk to Micah there next time and see if we could do that.
Tara said, some of us with Dalen are trying to figure out where we picked up some of the spirit guides.
I don't know. I mean, we've had them. Now, we've been doing this for a while before ever filming. And we'd had names that we hear now come in. And that was a couple years ago prior to what we're doing. So, I don't know. I really don't. And I also wonder is it the same spirit guides, or they just use those names? Because if you look up the definition of those names, their definition kind of fits with the type of spirit guide they are.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Like Walter, it means authority, it's described as like a warden, somebody who is just of authority, which makes sense with Walter, especially the time frames for us at least, when we hear him when he would come in. So,
I'm sorry, I chuckled at this question because you'll probably chuckle at this too. From Mal, have you felt or talked to spirits from rivers or other waterways? And do you know why I'm chuckling at that?
Because our last video.
Yes. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned to get an answer for that one. Let's see. Linda said, Tara, I went back a while ago and found that Walter showed up the first time he went to see Kenny Rogers. I think talking about Dalen.
Dalen? Oh, to talk to Kenny Rogers? Yeah. I'm pretty sure when we first... Well, I know Walter had come in for us before we started filming. So I don't know if it's the same Walter.
Yeah, or if it's just the name.
Yeah.
They were asking if we would do Waverly all by yourself, and then they said...
we would.
Would y'all do Waverly But would y'all do Waverly different? Would y'all do it in your own way? And I would say yes, we do it in our way. I think it is such a big place that you would have to almost be, if it was just the two of us doing it, you'd almost have to be strategic in the fact of you'd have to pick out like certain areas that you would focus on. I don't know if you'd be able to like all in one night with how large it is, be able to get to everything. But if you were to pick out like a few of like the key places, I feel like it would be manageable.
Yeah, I
So.
think you would need a weekend though.
Yeah, to really get into everything and to get into a lot of the like certain like stories that come up over and over again, or like certain activity that comes up in certain areas, like you could definitely do it in a weekend.
Yeah, and what there's things about Waverly you never hear about when you're watching these paranormal shows on TV. They don't tell you everything. You don't hear about it was a state nursing home, and they got closed down for
Abuse and
neglect, every nasty thing that you can think of that comes with those type of facilities, right? It happened there, and they ended up getting closed down. The state closed them down. There's a lot of darkness there that happened.
And there's still families that live in the city that maybe had a loved one that was there when it was a nursing home, or have a loved one that was there during the last stages of when it was still a sanatorium. So there are like still people who have like fresh memories of Waverly.
Yeah, I have a client of mine who their sister had tuberculosis and was a patient there. She didn't pass. She made it out. But she told me some very scary, sad stories about that place. But yeah, there's a lot that you don't, because it's so much. They don't have time on a TV show to show you every part of the facility and tell you the backstory. I mean, to show the whole place would take a whole weekend minimum for sure.
Yeah.
Now, if you had a couple teams and you guys took different areas, from the basement and the morgue all the way to the 5th floor, or is there a 6th floor?
Fifth.
Maybe, and split up like that, I think that'd be a good way to cover it.
Yeah. And then they said, MJ said, do you think these guides are for this level of ascension? That's why they are the same?
It's a good question. That is a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that.
We've asked them if they're always our spirit guides or they just for this, and we didn't get a clear answer. We just got it's different or it's difficult. So usually when they say that, I'm just like, I don't want to push them.
Yeah, we kind of back away at that point.
Yeah. Make old Walter mad. He don't want to come help us out no more. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Brandon said, finding out Betty was Lady in White and orbs responding to what you're saying was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That was incredible. And just they're listening to us talk about, that's got to be, I mean, look at that. Is that dust? And then I'd say it, and then just a bigger orb would show up, and it'd be brighter. And I'm like, I don't think I did dust. Dust don't do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
Dust
way
don't
that
do
it was moving, because some of them were going like straight across, some were like dropping down, and then they'd kind of like bounce. Whereas like dust just kind of flitters sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like the video in the cemetery when in the day, we were on live and we saw that fall from the sky and how it glitched. It would kind of glitch out on its way down. Some of the orbs would do that. And that little shadow, like a mist that was on the camera.
Yeah.
It kind of glitched like that too. It was interesting.
It was neat in the Lady in White video with Miss Betty. We had left a chair on the end for her to come and sit with us and talk with us. And during the video, you see that there's like an orb that's on that chair, which I thought was really neat because I definitely felt like that was Miss Betty.
Yeah, like that white one. It just come through you watched it come right through the chair.
Yeah. That says, Josh and Kelsey wondered how you handled evil spirits, or do they not come to you?
Yeah, they go Yeah, it's a lot of some people ask you like, how come you guys don't ever encounter anything dark? When we do, we just don't entertain it really.
Yeah.
And when we feel it, when we go to a location, we can feel that energy, and yeah, we just right then and there we take care of it and just pray over it, and it leaves, and then we don't really have any issues after that. So they do happen, but that's the thing is, that's you kind of set your tone at some of these places. Like, do you entertain it? Because if you want to entertain the darkness, and the darkness it'll show up. You know what I'm saying? So we don't let that happen. We've done investigations where, like you almost felt paralyzed.
Yeah, or it's like they're like you're like suffocating.
Yeah. And you get there, like when we were in Texas, and Miss Anna and the husband that
Joseph
kept her and beat her and everything. He was saying a lot of very nasty things, and we could feel the darkness, the evil. But then he had to leave, so he left, and yeah, we just kind of try to set the tone from the get-go and nip it in the rear end.
Yes.
But it does happen for sure.
They said with the orbs, Courtney said the other looked like a firework fizzling out from the ceiling. I think that's in the Shadow Man video where it's kind of comes down.
Or the slow, like, reminds me of a drip. It's just like that.
Yes. And then Melissa said, can't wait to see the Christmas at the Opera House again. And then MJ said, at the theater, will you try to find out specifics about each personality or just keep it general and just interact? MJ, do you mean like with the children finding out about personalities, or do you mean like in general just the different spirits that are there? Lori said, I don't like the negative. Love you guys. Pray wherever you are.
Yeah, we don't entertain the negative.
And Courtney agreed, Shadow Man, it was that one where it looked like a firework that fizzled out. And then I was just waiting for MJ to clarify if they meant
Shirley,
finding out about each personality, if that's for the kids or just for the different.
Miss Shirley, how's your mom and them, Miss Shirley? Hope they're doing well. She's from Canada, remember?
Yeah.
Shirley? Her mom watches. There's another question I saw. Charms pick. So she got a puppy. Let me tell you about her puppy.
Tell me about it.
Listen to this mix. Now this is quite the mix here. There was some some engineering took place on creating this puppy dog. I'm gonna tell you that much. So she said it's a Dalmatian, a Corgi, and a Pit Bull mix.
Wait. So does it have the little legs?
Ask her. I don't know. I ain't never seen it.
Does it have little like corgi legs?
I hope so. That'd be funny.
I would love that. And then does it have the spots like the Dalmatian?
And then a big pit bull head.
Yeah, like the bigger head.
That'd be awesome.
And is it like playful? Because I know corgis and pit bulls can both be playful.
And I always wondered this. Those little corgi dogs, how do they run so fast with little bitty legs? I don't get it.
They have good speed.
Yeah.
Okay, so MJ clarified finding out the personality of the different ones we spoke to that night. So finding out like the children, the Whistler, Betty, the Shadow Man. So do we have plans to go back and like spend more time doing like follow-up videos with them to get more about like their background and their personality is the question.
I think so. I think that'd kind of be our plan going in, was to go in and now that they're familiar with us and we know that they trust us, they obviously remembered us because we have been there several times.
Yeah.
Just doing the walkthrough and all that. So, yeah, I think we would go in and just ask now that we're familiar, we could ask questions about to Miss Betty. Or the kids say they go there because it's safe. Ironically, we did mention their parents, and then you hear, I'm with my parents.
Yeah.
I'm with my family. So it's interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, I definitely think that we'd do that for sure.
Yes. Okay, so she said she's a trip, shortish legs, black and white, sort of like a border collie, long body, and yes to the shoulders and pity head. She's adorable.
Awesome.
I bet.
I bet. Oh.
That's fantastic.
Now you throw a little weenie dog in there, a little cross mix of the weenie dog, and that dog would be that long.
And then Corrine had asked, do you say a certain prayer for peace or make it up as you go? And then Brandon had said, it's great to pray first and it seems to help diminish the negative.
Definitely, for sure. 100%. Yeah, we just we pray peace over the spirit, just from the heart, just we turn off the cameras and we ask the spirits that need peace to come forward, and we just say a prayer for them and gather with them, pray with them. I think the kind of the fellowship, the praying together, makes them feel. Well, they've told us they feel, you make us feel normal. They said that you make us feel like we matter, and I think the intent behind that says a lot.
Yeah.
It helps a lot for sure. But we just pray from the heart. Just pray peace, really.
Yes.
Any darkness or evil has to flee. It doesn't have authority there with that spirit around us. Just stuff like that for sure. So.
Tara said, think about it for a second. Here's a head scratcher. Evil is live backwards and devil is lived backwards.
Evil is life backwards? Okay.
And devil is lived backwards.
Evil is, okay. Evil.
See? Evil is live backwards and devil is lived backwards. Little head scratcher.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You could really, if you really think deep on that. Yeah, you could really get yourself in like a, what are those like?
Conundrum.
Yeah, just thinking, because you're like evil and then devil. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Brandon said, is it Dion? Dione? I'm so bad at pronouncing names.
Dion Waddington was your
contact at Bushy Mountain. Tried performing music there before. So we were talking about Bushy Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Because at Bushy Mountain, along of course with the prison, they have a restaurant. They have like a bar, music. So I don't know if it's all year, but I know at least during the summer, like the bar and restaurant and stuff is open. So.
Yeah. First I want to say that Brandon Maddox right there. He's a country music artist. He's been around for a long time. He's a good buddy of mine, and if you guys like traditional country music, 90s style country, he's definitely talented. So y'all go check him out. And Brandon, if you want to tag anything in the comments, please do anytime.
Yes.
So yeah, that goes for anybody, because we want to support anybody as long as it's appropriate,
Yes. And then Shirley said, thanks, Josh. She's slowing down. It's hard to get on to watch now.
Her mom? Oh, we'll give her a hug for me.
Yes. Mal said, Kelsey and Josh, I wanted to know if any spirits have followed you home. And I'll say no to that.
No, we're pretty strict on, pretty careful, trust me. We're pretty careful. We pray a lot. Our house, we've never had anything. I'd say before this took place, before we started
filming and like getting really involved in like investigating and everything.
Yeah, more involved. We did. We had I don't think it was anything evil. It actually was kind of comical because it would do things. It flushed the toilet one time.
Yeah.
Right after we got married. We were living in South Georgia, and we're sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden the dang commode just flushed.
Yeah.
Now you had to push down the button. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no There wasn't no mix up. It wasn't the air conditioner kicking on. It wasn't none of that. It was literally the toilet flushed. I get up and go in there. It's running. It's flushing, just swirling and going down. So, and then we would have when Kelsey would cook certain meals, we'd have the smoke detector go off.
And there was no smoke. Like, I wasn't burning nothing. It wasn't high heat, nothing like that. Just certain meals they were very excited about. And so the smoke detector would go off.
And then Kelsey I worked at night, and Kelsey would lose her glasses all the time, y'all. And so when she don't have her glasses on, okay, she couldn't, I'm trying to think of, I was going to say something funny and it probably ain't appropriate, so I won't say it. But she can't see a thing, okay? To the point like 3 a.m. in the morning, and she would get up to go to the restroom in the middle of the night, and I would be awake because I worked nights. So if it was my day off, I was wide awake. And I'd hear, boom, just smack right into the wall. And she'd go, oh, and I'd just shake my head. But it used to, whoever it was used to, when she couldn't find her glasses, would put her glasses right there on the bed every time. Glasses would end up on the bed. So it would be little things like that, nothing evil or dark. But then when we started this,
yeah, we started putting up like boundaries and like making it very clear. And so that, that stuff was not welcome in our home. So once we did that, then whatever was with us respected that and has not made their presence known.
And we kind of thought maybe it was possibly my grandma or my dad, because my dad had passed by then, and it would make sense. And then now since they come through all the time, maybe they understand, hey, I don't want to, they don't, it's not like we could see them, so we don't know who it is.
Yes.
So yeah, we just kind of keep that. Not that we don't want the loving ones hanging out with us, our loved ones, but at the same time, you got to put up boundaries, So I think that's definitely key, is boundaries for sure.
Yes. Tara said, practical joke ghost.
Yeah, and I know my dad would be a practical joker, okay?
Yes.
So I had to tell him, don't be messing with me, because I don't know now. We're doing this. And him and my grandma were big into the paranormal too, so.
Yeah. They said, glad that you have boundaries. At least they flushed. It was a male spirit. I hope he closed the lid.
Yeah, I think he did.
Mal said, Josh and Kelsey, maybe I missed it. Do you dream about any spirits after visits?
I never have.
No.
You know what it feels like, to be honest? I'm going to be honest. It feels like, because people ask how come we don't go back to the same ones and talk to them again. Well, I just kind of felt like sometimes the door's shut. Like, they found us, they needed help. We're not, we were on a mission to help them. They got peace. They tell us that. They confirm that. And they're happy. So if we meet again, or if we contact with them again, it's usually them contacting us, coming through on a different conversation we're doing with somebody else, and they confirm sometimes, like, they're at peace. We heard that with the girl in Texas. So we just we never really go back again, because it kind of feels like, okay, hey, we're on a mission complete, case closed. Let's go help somebody else. Let's go pray for somebody else. Let's go give an opportunity for somebody else that needs some peace to reach out.
Yes. But I will say, in some communities, if we have frequented that community and it's a place that maybe we go back to, but we're talking to others within that community, if we go by like a headstone that we previously have talked to, we'll still like be respectful and say hello, but we don't necessarily like continue to have those conversations through the spirit box with them unless they want to have that with us.
Yes. Now our little buddy Stephen Thomas, we would do that to him, but now he pops up at every conversation we do. So he lets us know he's there, and sometimes we'll check in with him and see if he's there, off camera. It's pretty kind of funny. He's like, hey buddy, hey buddy. He does that all the time. When you hear that, hey buddy, that's him, and that's our code. We told him, hey, say hey buddy, and we'll know it's you. So that's what he does.
Yes. Larry said, hey guys, I got to drop off. Thank you so much for joining us.
Who said that?
Beignet, Lori.
Miss Lori?
Yeah.
All right, Miss Lori. We'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
Now, don't be going out and partying too hard tonight. Did I answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure I answered the question.
All right. Do y'all have any other questions about the theater or anything else? I think I've caught up to all your questions so far.
Hey, we ain't seen Seth in here tonight.
Mm-mm.
I ain't seen Seth in a minute. Must be working. Maybe
Yeah.
he changed schedules. I also don't see our friend in Pennsylvania, Miss Belinda.
Yeah, we haven't seen her in a while.
Hopefully she's doing well. Sometimes it might sound crazy, but we see the same people each week, and then you don't hear from them or see them or anything for months. You're like, oh, I hope everything's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zaria said, I'm here, but good on question.
Lazaria, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Lazaria, what's your next video? Let us know. And also, I think it's cool what you're doing with the items, seeing if they're connected to different items. And like Lazaria, that's the thing. Some people are comfortable with that. We just because we go to so many places, for us, if we're open to that, there's no telling who we'd pick up, what we'd pick up.
Yeah.
But like in your case, it's really neat that you do that. So I don't want her thinking I'm saying anything bad about anybody that does anything like that. It's just for us. It's easier. It's easier to manage.
Yeah.
You gotta keep those back for us at least.
Lazaria said maybe Grandma Peggy or Mark or Dog Boxer for her next ones.
Dog Boxer.
And then Courtney had asked, when is the next video? Josh and Kelsey. We have video coming out Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Yeah, every Thursday at 6 p.m. We were going to change that and change the day and the time, and we messed around with the times, but to see if it helped view-wise, it's the same. Either way, it doesn't matter. So we thought everybody knows Thursday, we'll just keep it Thursday.
Yes. Stacey said, hey, just got home from a busy day. Hope you two are well. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kathleen was asking, when do we go to Ireland?
Kathleen, we are going to Ireland
August.
August.
End of August.
August is a big month for we got to go to Ireland. We got some weddings. I'm in a wedding, y'all. I got to shine up, and do I have to wear a tie?
No, I don't think you're required to wear a tie for this one.
Okay, that won't be too bad.
Yeah.
Might not be too bad.
Just a suit.
I got to wear a suit. It is August, so it's going to be a rough one. It's going to be hot. It's in the evening, though, so it might not be as bad. My head won't get sunburnt, so that's good.
Yeah.
Like our wedding, y'all. On our wedding, my head got so sunburnt.
It was supposed to be in October. It's normally like 60s, 70s. But on that day, it was unseasonably warm, and there was not a cloud in the sky, but there was a rainbow, a full-on rainbow that day. 2
big, beautiful hawks circling us the whole time through the whole wedding.
Yes.
And my dad had passed away, and my great-grandma passed away around the same time. So we were like, oh, maybe they're just checking in. Who knows?
Yeah.
You're required to wear a kilt, Joe. No, I do too many cartwheels for that.
Tara said, big time shifting in Ireland, maybe. You'll have to stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
See what we get into.
That's right.
You never know. And then Courtney said, Lazari's channel is great. Gonna watch more tonight.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah, definitely, y'all go check it out. Check out Lazaria. She's got a little thing going, and I like it. It's simple.
Yes.
And it's different.
Yes.
And the cats like it, too.
Yes.
And the cats come through, by the way. And she talked to a horse.
That's really incredible.
Yeah.
Sherry said, we worry about you too with all the horrible weather in Kentucky. We pray you're not touched by it. No, both of the tornadoes that caused major damage and death were not in our area. One was in near like Somerset, which is
Mhm.
like eastern Kentucky, and the other one was in
About
Washington.
an hour from Somerset.
Yeah, and then the other one, most recently, well, I guess you would say this week, since it's still Saturday, was in Washington County.
Yeah, and that's just east of us.
Mm-hmm.
20, 25 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been.
We've been fortunate.
I hate saying that because I feel bad for all the other people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But every time a tornado's hit so far, we've been out of town except for the flood,
Mm-hmm.
the bad flood that took place.
Yeah. Shirley said, I'd love to go to Ireland. And then.
Well, Shirley, you pitch in on gas money, you can ride with us.
Wouldn't it be more like a check baggage fee since we're not driving?
That's true. Yeah.
So you'd have to be comfortable with going under the plane.
Well, oh yeah, we'll stuff you in the bag.
Yeah.
I'll put a straw in there, and we'll poke it out the little zipper, and you just, yeah.
But if we were driving.
If we were driving, you can't drive.
No, you can't.
You can't drive there. As far as we can get is.
I'm sure there's some roundabout way where you can like drive onto a ferry. The ferry goes to one country, get on another ferry.
6 months later, you finally get to Ireland.
I mean, it'd take you a while, but I'm sure there's a way you could do it.
Cargo, like Miss Courtney said.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to save some money, I'll pay for that, and you can ride in the trunk. How about that? I'll put you in the trunk. I'll throw you some Skittles every now and then back there.
See, Brandy understands. She said I was thinking that too.
I ain't gonna argue with Brandy. She's a cage fighter. She's a world champion. I don't argue with her. Hey, so who's anybody going to Savannah in October for the graveyard shift meetup? Let us know. You might see us down there.
Yeah.
I know Miss Terry's going. Miss Joanna's going, I believe. What does that say? There's.
Kathleen said there's a show on Prime from Hellier, Kentucky. That's a scary place. Have y'all heard of this place? No.
What? Wait. What's the?
It's
name?
Hellier. That's Hellier, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Elizabeth. Oh, she's going to Savannah. All right. Where you gonna hang out with us, Miss Elizabeth? You gonna see us, Miss Terry, Miss Joanna? Will be a good time.
Kathleen, what type of place is it?
I'll have to look that up. Yeah, what
Yeah.
type of show? Is it like a real show, like a documentary, or is it like a TV show? Yay, Miss Joanna. I can't wait. Hang out with you guys. I don't know what to look at up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was waiting to see.
You know what? There's a
What she
lady,
said.
a lady that's a medium. She follows us on Instagram. She just started following us, and she's got a show on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a lot of shows though. She's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to meet you both in person. Well, I can't wait. We can't wait to meet you. Gotta give you a big hug.
Yes.
Elizabeth, give you a big hug. What's that? I am excited for Savannah. Victoria, all right. We're excited too, Victoria. You know what I might do? What if I showed up and I put them Billy Bob teeth in? like the You look different on camera. You know, you didn't see the Billy Bob teeth.
Kathleen said it's paranormal research. We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
So now we have 2 Kentucky things to look up. The Lost Sea Cave, well, that's Tennessee.
Yeah.
But the cave, and then now this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we should look into, is it Brushy Mountain? Is it Bushy Mountain or Brushy Mountain? I always
call it bushy, but I think it might be brushy.
I think it's Brushy Mountain.
Yeah.
It's not far.
No, it's not far. It's right outside of Knoxville.
Yeah, maybe Brandon and Meredith will come do that one.
Yeah.
They're not far from there.
Because they do know that they offer like the traditional like ghost walking tours, and then they do the small groups, but then you also are able to rent it out. So they have a couple of different things that you can do there.
I just got an idea.
What's your idea?
It just hit me like a ton of bricks.
What's that?
Brandon, our music buddy here, he comes with us.
Brushy Mountain.
Brushy Mountain, see? Okay. He comes out there with us.
Uh-huh.
And then they won't let him play a concert out there, but how about he does an investigation and we'll add it in. We'll say part of our strategy is we like to play music, which we do kind of sing to him sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
And then you can play songs for him, Brandon. It'll be on the video. Then we'll just put it out as a concert for spirits.
And
Lost Sea.
Elizabeth said, Lost Sea, go to back of cave. They have glass bottom boats, but the history is towards the back. That's pretty neat. Courtney said, rent it out and grab the moonshine.
There you go.
And Dana said, I have seen a lot of that place. Looks very active. Has a sad field. Waverly.
Waverly?
Mm-hmm.
It does. It feels very sad in there. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first place. That was one of our very first. That was a group investigation we did, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we did a group one there.
And that was the first time that I ever got touched. Like, actually, like the lady, she said, "All right, I'm sitting with my friend Josh down there. It was a long, dark hallway. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face, really. Except for where I was standing, there was a little bit of light coming from outside, like a street light or something. And I'm standing down there, and she starts talking to the spirits. And she was talking to a specific spirit, and she said, this is my friend Josh. Feel free to touch him or talk in his ear or whatever you want to do. And I was like, oh, just make a noise. And all of a sudden, the back of my jacket gets yanked. I thought, whoa. And then a bat flies right in front of my face. And I only knew it was a bat because the little bit of light coming through. And I don't like bats, y'all. I don't do bats. So yeah, that's the first time I ever got touched. And then a girl comes down there, and I go back, and the same thing happened to her. And the bat touched her hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kathleen was clarifying not for us to go there, but to see it on the show. So yes, we'll check out the show and see what that's
And
about.
she said it's a real show? Like
It's on Prime.
Wow. Yeah. How come we never heard of this? And
Well,
I wonder where it's at in
We're
Kentucky.
not the best at keeping up with TV.
Yeah, we don't get to do a lot of TV.
And a lot of the times people have to tell us like what's going on, and then we can like catch up on it. But we're usually on the go so much we don't sit and keep up with TV all that well.
I think Sundays are the only day that we
slow down.
just have a day where we don't have to do anything. Which technically I'm sure we could cram a lot in on a Sunday, but we try to just not do nothing on Sundays. So that's when we usually watch TV. But then we're trying to catch up on shows, you know.
Yeah. Sherry said, I'm out, guys. It's hubby and I's movie night. Have a great evening. Thanks so much for joining us.
Eat something good for us, Miss Sherry.
Yes.
Have something good. Some pizza. Make her eat some pizza. How about that?
Let's see. Courtney said, have a party with more spirits than one. And then, oh, because of the moonshine. I just got that.
Hey, would that be... See, sometimes I feel bad for Kelsey when we do, like if we go to like a jail or prison, because I feel like it might trigger her since for their past and everything. Like, because she spent some time in there, y'all. She spent some time in prison. And, you know, I took her back and everything after she tried to do me in. But rocky past. A couple of them felonies on there.
Joshua.
I'm just kidding. She didn't go. They didn't charge her with anything. I dropped all the charges. Y'all. I didn't charge her. I've been on a glass boat in Puerto Rico as a child. Very cool. Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, because they're talking about the Lost Sea Cave, how it has the glass boat and has the history in the back. So they were talking about the different. Terry said to smack you.
That's what got her put in there in the first place. She whipped the tar out of me, Terry.
Y'all, he's told church folks this before. So then they didn't want to sit next to us. So then that's how he'd get us the good seats at church sometimes, is by telling tales of my prison days.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it?
They're just saying, wow. Lady Isabella Rose. That's a pretty name that you have there.
I've never seen that name in here before. That's awesome.
I'm a
like
new
that.
subscriber. Speaking of theaters, a local mall has a movie theater on the 3rd floor. Was an AMC, but then it was bought by a Picture Show Entertainment. It's haunted. The theater won't admit. What city or town is this in where the movie theater is haunted?
Yeah. And what's her name again?
Lady Isabella Rose.
Is that your real name, by the way, ma'am? Because that is an awesome name.
Yes.
That's an awesome name.
Yes.
That's like a name that you'd see, like, you know, where in like the cemeteries, like the older, like 1800, you see a lot of Minnies.
Mm-hmm.
And what's another one we see a lot? Minnie, Elizabeth, Sarah's,
Mary's.
Mary, Lily's. We see Lillian.
Yeah.
Orange, California. Okay. No, it's not my real name. Oh, well, it's still a nice name, by the way.
Still a very nice name.
Still a nice name.
Yes.
And you could have fibbed to me. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. That's interesting that they won't admit that it's haunted. I wonder if it's because they're afraid that it would affect business. Because I know, for example, like in Savannah, we've been to some of the bed and breakfasts and there's been activity. And then when we've asked the innkeeper about it, they've denied it, but then when we were alone, they've come and spoken to us off to the side and had said that they're really not able to admit to those sort of things because sometimes people do not want to stay where there's like known activity and it can affect business. So I wonder if that's like similar to the theater, where if they don't want to admit to it because they're afraid that it would discourage people from coming.
I could see that, yeah.
So, because not everyone is always so open-minded about paranormal.
Yeah, we,
Terry said it would attract the weirdos like us. Yeah, it probably would.
would, for sure. If, you know, we were in Savannah one time, the closet door kept opening and closing all night long. Mm-hmm. Open and close, open and close. And the lady tried to make it think like we were losing our minds.
Yeah.
And I said, no, we ain't that. We ain't both lost it.
No, not both of us.
Just her, not me too, right?
But then later, she did come back around because we were talking about this in front of others. So then later, she did come back around with the skeleton key and said, okay, I don't know how the door was doing that because this key is the only key that locks and unlocks that door, and it was locked. So she did admit to it a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like whispering, like, you know, nobody's supposed to know. I don't want to say type thing. I'm like, just tell us we're not losing our minds, lady.
Yes. Now, Lady Rose, have you experienced anything in that theater? And if so, like what has happened?
Is Orange, California, is that Southern California? Like LA or San Diego?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's an area we've never really explored investigating.
No. Just up in Northern California.
Yeah, we enjoyed Northern California. I've never been to Southern California. But we do have some friends. That's where Tiffany's at.
Yeah.
Tiffany Lorraine, yeah.
Tara said, I'd admit that on the down low too. And then Terry said, I had that happen in a hospital I had my son in. I yelled at the spirit and it stopped.
Okay. I've heard opera singing and I had my head touched while watching a movie. No one was in the... Wow.
That's interesting.
Okay, wow. We'll have to let her know if we come to Southern California. We'll go to watch a movie with you.
Yeah.
We really won't be watching a movie. We'll have like equipment set up.
Yes. And she said, I was alone when I heard the opera music because the movie had not started yet.
Okay, wow. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine just sitting there and you just hear opera start?
Yeah.
No one's around?
I know.
It's not on the TV or nothing.
It's always interesting that theaters attract so much paranormal activity, but I really think it's just because of like the energy and excitement that like sits in those spaces. You know, because that's a place that you go and like you laugh, you cry, you get angry sometimes, you get really excited, and it's like all of that energy happens over and over again, and it's just like housed in that space.
In the movie theater?
Yeah. So
You
then,
might have got your first sugar in that movie theater, too. You might have did the old yawn and stretch. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder now for kids these days, like where does that happen? Because
What?
do kids still go to movie theaters? Because everything's like streaming now. I wonder, like,
I don't know.
because it used to be like you'd want to go to the movie theater and that would be like the big deal where your first kiss was. But now I don't know if they do that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Um,
The Opera House.
let's see. They said, yes, lots of emotions. Rose said it's called Main Place Mall. Right now they're having major construction, so I'm sure it's going to ramp up the activity. Oh yeah, change normally does. Tara said the Opera House here is haunted. The piano plays by itself. Oh, that's so fascinating.
I feel like every opera house, there's a haunted story.
Yeah, but I think it's like what we just said. There's all that energy that just sits in there.
Definitely, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And people are there, they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the laughter. At the ROHS Opera House, when we did, what was it? Was it Miss Betty? I think we were talking to Miss Betty, and someone talked about it was funny, how funny it was. So
the show that we had watched.
They're aware, they know.
Mm-hmm.
And they know right where you're sitting and everything. That still blows my mind.
Yeah.
And probably like Miss Betty, she said she came with her mom. She brought her mom.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably sat in the same section, the same, tradition for years and years.
Yes.
I didn't think about this.
What?
You see those people, all the people, that was the thing to do is go to a show. So you see those people you saw for many, many years over and over again. You probably watched their lives change too. And then you guys pass away.
Yeah.
And then you see them again on the other side.
Yes.
You're all in the same theater. That'd be kind of cool.
Yes.
You'd be like, look at that sucker sitting in our chair.
Yes.
Yeah. People watching.
Mm-hmm. Mal's asking, how do I see your videos, Lazaria? So if you want to share how people can find you.
Yeah, drop your link in there.
Excuse me. Corinne said, when I worked at the Grand Sierra Hotel in Reno, the theater is haunted. I had to work in there by myself, and you can feel it. The doors open and close, plus you can hear someone walking.
Wow.
That's interesting.
I would love to investigate. Just go to one of those fancy hotels, like the Wynn where we stayed last time. Just sitting in there, like your last day before you leave, just do an investigation. Just ask some questions, put out some equipment, just see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Las Vegas got some skeletons.
Yeah.
They got those spirits got some secrets out there.
Yes.
For sure.
And what's interesting about the theaters is you get a lot of different personalities sometimes, because you get the people who worked in the theater who maybe like were stagehands or were directors, and then you get the actors who have big personalities sometimes, but then you also get people like Miss Betty who were ones that attended. So it's like at a lot of the theaters you do get just a variety of like personalities.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Tammy said Disneyland felt very haunted. I can tell you why it probably felt haunted, because the Haunted Mansion attracts a lot of interesting people. It's quite common both at Disneyland and Disney World that people will take the ashes of their loved ones, and during the ride they'll like spread them.
We saw that at Disney World, and they stopped the ride to clean it up, and then kicked the people off.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would not be surprised of why you felt that way, because it's very common that people like to spread ashes there.
Yeah, so if your loved one wants you to spread their ashes at Disney World at a favorite ride or something, just know it's going to end up in a vacuum cleaner in the garbage. So
Yeah. So you might want to do it like outside in the landscape.
Yeah, do it like, yeah, dig a little hole and pour some in there.
Yeah. Brittany said, did not know that. Let's see. Corin said, in the back of the curtain, there's a haunted airplane.
Back of the curtain.
Back of the curtain.
Oh, maybe it's something at Disney you're talking about?
Well, no, she was talking about the hotel.
Oh.
Or, I mean, the theater in Reno. So are you saying in Reno, there's, in the back of the curtain, there's a haunted airplane. Are you saying at the theater or in Reno? I just wanted to clarify.
I think I've just seen someone say something about, wow, I'm just wearing someone's ashes. You probably were. We've probably all had a little ash on our shoe. I'm just saying. You might have somebody's grandma on the bottom of your shoe.
Yes. Yes, she said, oh my gosh, no wonder.
Hey, Brandy, up in Kansas City, is there any places like that that's like known to be haunted in your location, your area? Plus, under Disney, it's all the underground police departments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and tunnels and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a friend that worked at Disney World, law enforcement. Some interesting things to take. They got some pretty good technology.
Yes, they do.
I was in line. I had a pocket knife in my pocket. Totally forgot about it. Walk through the metal detector. No, it's before the metal detector.
Yeah, before the metal detector.
Walk down the little main street, and then all of a sudden these guys coming, walk me off, surround me, and one said, "Hey, you got that pocket knife in your pocket?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You want it?" Y'all can have it. You know, I knew it was the police, and they're like, "Just go put it in your car." I said, "Okay." Went and put it in my car. Mm-hmm. But they knew it like that. They have equipment, and that was probably 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I can only imagine what they got now.
Yeah, all sorts of things. Corinne clarified the plane is in the theater. It's parked there. They built around the airplane. How cool was that?
That is cool.
So I wonder, do you know what year the plane is from? Like, is it like a World War II airplane? Like, that's really neat.
That is neat, yeah.
And that's in Reno. Shirley said, can you imagine you're on a ride and ashes hit you in the face from the person in front?
Oh.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. Now, I got a weak stomach, so I'd probably gag, y'all. Josh got a weak stomach. Oh, I would too. I couldn't imagine. Get in your mouth? No telling.
That's everything. I'm caught up.
You're caught up?
Yeah.
You guys got any more questions about the theater or future investigations or any other? Only the building renovated, and it's a winery and the hotel. So there's a lot of spirits there.
Yeah. That's really neat.
Get it? Winery.
Courtney said, glad I didn't know about the ashes.
No, I didn't know. Hey, Dixie boy, how are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Yes.
Remember he went to the college football championship? I think that was him. Or was it the Super Bowl? Which one was it? I think it was a college football. That's how I always remember Dixie boy. Because he talked about it that one time. Anybody else got any questions?
Let's see.
George's corpse is there. George.
The old fellas in Liberty, Missouri, George Corpse is there.
Oh. I don't know who George Corpse is. I'm saying George's
Dixie clarified Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, that's right. Okay, yeah. I knew it was one of them.
Lazaria said looking forward to the next live at a cemetery.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do that. Won't be
Probably in a few weeks.
probably a few weeks. Yeah, we or sooner. Heck, we might be able to fit it in next week. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Depending on what the schedule looks like. Well, we'll be down in. We have to go down there for a few days to Florida, and while we're there, we got something lined up. So
Yeah.
you guys will enjoy that. It'll be a different type of video you've seen. I don't think we've filmed one of these on for the channel, have we?
No, not for the channel.
No. So yeah, you guys will see that
Mm-hmm.
in a few weeks.
Melissa's having to leave, so thank you so much for joining us.
Good night, Melissa. If we do Brushy Mountain, you have to come out there and do it with us.
Yes.
All right, Miss Melissa. And maybe our singing buddy, the guitar man, might play us a song if he comes with us. Brandon. All right, well, good. So I got a question for y'all. Kels and I were talking about this. So like we try to catch as many of the responses as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there's a lot of responses. Now recently, we've had a few people complain about the responses on the screen. I don't know, sometimes they get upset because I'm putting too much on the screen. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to ignore the spirits? Like what they say? I ask them a question, and then we get a bunch of answers.
Mm-hmm.
I try to respectfully catch as much as we can. But you guys let me know, do you feel like we should cut back and not put as many of the responses on the screen? Or do you like it how it is? It's kind of a tough one to judge that.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I look at it is I want to be respectful as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. You can't please everybody. Yes, ma'am. I like the responses. Yes, definitely. Somebody said, well, they say too much or too much nice things. They said they don't like the nice comments. I'm like, well, what? Go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. I'm supposed to tell them.
They're all saying, keep doing what we're doing. Nothing's wrong with it. I like how it is. Put it all on. Don't change it a bit.
Okay. Yeah, it's wild, Lazaria. It's like.
Courtney said, I can hear and see multitask. So I think that's your answer. They like it. So
Yeah, just keep going.
Keep going.
I don't want to flood it with that, but at the same time, it's like, how do you slow down spirits?
Yeah.
You can't really do that. And to be respectful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. That's Kathy.
Joanna asked, do we have any plans to go north this summer? Or at first said, too bad you don't go north, and then had asked, do we have any plans to go north this summer?
Well, we are going to go to Western Michigan event sometime. We don't know. Mm-hmm. To see, we got some things to do up there and see Miss Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
Or Miss Kathy. That's Kathleen or Kathy, I'm so sorry. Western Michigan. She's got the dove picture.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in Western Michigan.
But anywhere south does travel. We are mainly in the south, but we have gone north before, and we've even gone out west. So you never know what will pop up.
We do like going west to like the redwood forest. Mm-hmm. That's pretty. It's nice out there.
Yes.
But yeah, we haven't done a lot of north filming. Mm-mm.
And then Dixie Boy asked, any plans to go to New Orleans?
New Orleans? I'd like to go to New Orleans, for sure.
I would say it's definitely on the table. No formal plans, but you never know.
Yeah, and I don't know why I always think you're in Huntsville, Alabama. Dixie Boy. Always think you're in Huntsville.
Lazaria said they can play it in slow mode if they can't keep up, maybe.
Yeah, and that's another thing. And I've thought about trying to slow it down even more, but here's the problem. Everybody sounds drunk. And then it's like, well, am I going to put the spirits and the respect and the responses in the light of them just dragging? And then people would complain about that. So
yeah.
I just take y'all's advice, keep it how it is. I ain't going to mess with nothing like that.
Yes.
But I just got to ask just to make sure we're gauging everything right and, you know, filling everything out right. So. Kathleen, I'm in Florida, Tarpon Springs. She's in Florida. Then there's a Kathy in Western Michigan. One of them, somebody's in Western Michigan.
Don't ask me because I am terrible with names, and I will create a new name for you.
Yeah.
I will butcher your name.
She calls me bad names all the time.
But I'm really great with a face, just not with names. So, Elizabeth said, great chat. Good night. Thanks all. And that she likes the way you do responses.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
So
you.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
A
little bit tipsy. That's all right, Courtney.
Corinne said, this is great. Finally got you on your Q&A. Joanna said, I live in West Michigan. Brandy said, y'all do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's everything.
And Courtney's having a good time.
Yes.
I went on to the ghost tour in New Orleans, and it was very interesting. There's a lot of it down there.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you get to go to the graveyard shift that they did? What was that, last October?
I think it was last October.
Yeah. Were you able to participate in that, or did you just go to New Orleans just for something separate for the ghost tour?
Kathleen. Tarpon Springs. We know where that's at.
Yeah.
Is that by Orlando?
South.
South. Okay.
Yeah. Joanna said, Dixie Boy, I love New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans is great. We haven't been. Well, Kelsey, have you been there? No.
No, I've not been. It's on my list. Josh has been there, but I have not been there.
That was back in my wild days, y'all. I went to a couple Mardi Gras back then. It'll be a different experience nowadays. Be a different experience nowadays.
It's funny. We have made 2 different trip plans to New Orleans, and then within like a week or 2 when we were supposed to go, a hurricane has hit.
Yeah.
And so we've not made it. So I'm thinking this next time we plan a trip, we might try like January, February, even though it might be closer to Mardi Gras, so it might be a little more wild, but it's outside of hurricane season and it won't be in the dead of the heat of summer. So we'll see. But that's the reason why I haven't made it to New Orleans, is we usually get stopped by a hurricane that
Yes,
hits.
definitely. Well, we were going to go last year to the Graveyard Fest, but we ended up,
We had
we were in Texas, right?
No, we had, I can't remember now, but we had already had something planned. So then we went to Texas because we couldn't make it to New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. No, we were in, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was something, I forget now, but
You-
we were somewhere. I know
Yes.
we had something going on already.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Dixie Boy said, I went down visiting an old buddy and he told me about it. Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's a neat place.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going there the last time, and there was a lot of the people that do they look like statues. They like stand,
Yes.
they do the thing.
Yes.
That. And I remember seeing a guy was doing that. He had a bucket out.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy is running down thing, or driving his bike down, and just grabs the bucket, takes off, keeps going.
Oh.
Took the old man's money.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad. Let's see.
Oh, she said, would you all go? Yes, we would definitely go, for sure.
Would we go?
Yeah, Mel said that.
No, will you go?
Would you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely go.
Yeah.
Would and will.
Mal said before that, Villisca Axe Murder House in Villisca, the Edinburgh Manor in Scotch Grove, and the Squirrel Cage Jail in Council Bluffs in Iowa.
I think something about
I don't know if they were asking about that.
About what?
About in Iowa. If Mal was asking about the house there, the murder house. Have you been there, Mal? Brandon did ask about Bobby Mackey's. We did not make it to Bobby Mackey's before it closed. We had seen a lot of videos, had read a lot of information, And we were gonna make a trip up there before it closed, but it was winter time and there was a storm that hit before, like when we were looking at, because they had like several like investigation tour days open right before it closed, but we missed our opportunity because of the storm, so we never made it before it closed. But we've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah, and that was a little further north for us.
Yeah.
That's up there near Ohio, Ohio
Yeah.
border. So yeah, we never really go up that way much. But there's a lot. Actually, I heard there's a lot
There's a lot up there.
up there.
Yeah.
Terry, it was.
But that's definitely one of the.
there.
It's like a Waverly. It's definitely on like a must do on the haunted list for Kentucky.
Yeah, and they are redoing it, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be like what it was. I think they're trying to get away from that. That haunted.
It'll be interesting to see though, because it was like such a notorious place. It'll be interesting to see, like, once the renovations are finished and it is reopened, like, is some of those spirits from before, or some of that energy from before, is that going to carry over into like the newly redone place?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I wonder if anything happened. Like, did the tractor shut off? The dump trucks, I don't know, start smoking, overheat? Like, if there was anything happened while they were tearing it down. Because I'm sure the energy wasn't happy.
yeah. Joanna said that place is crazy. And then Terry said that it's gone. They tore it down. Joanna said she's not been there. She's read about it, seen a lot about it. Now it's going through a makeover.
Funny, that's one of them places people hear about all over the country.
Yes.
Like we've been asked about that. We were in California.
Yeah.
Someone asked if we've investigated out there.
I would say that Bobby Mackey's and Waverly are like the two big ones for Kentucky that people ask about a lot.
Josh, I don't think that can happen. Josh, I don't think that can happen. What can happen?
Are you talking about the construction with them, like shutting down the bulldozers and all of that?
Yeah, I think they were ticked off like that.
Yeah.
Because you hear about people remodeling their houses or tearing down houses, and there's issues with the equipment.
Terry said, "What is the woman's name from Paranormal State? She made videos on YouTube." I don't know her name. Again, I'm terrible with names.
What was they talking about though that can't happen?
She hasn't responded yet. Mel said, "No, spooky for me. Wonder if y'all will go."
Oh, to the place she was naming up there.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably would check it out. Most places we'd go into.
Yeah.
There's things we want to learn about with more of the Native American ways to doing things. I know it can be spiritually be different. I actually talked to Dalen about that before. He agreed. He wants to learn more about it before you go to native grounds or anything. You think the spirits will remain? I don't know.
That's what she was saying. I don't think that'll happen, and she's saying that the spirits will remain. Because remember, we were talking about how, like, we wonder if the spirits will carry over, like with them tearing it down and then kind of rebuilding, redoing it. Will any of that energy carry over? So she's saying that
I could see that.
that she thinks the
The
spirits will.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. That's what I was saying. I think maybe if they were messing with, if they turn anything off or do anything, because I think that's possible. Because we've been to places, old homes that's been moved, like over, and built something or extended on, expanded on, and then that part of the house has a lot of activity. Yeah, I think you're right, Miss Joanna. I think they would.
I mean, we've seen that on, I think it was Ghost Hunters, where they had investigated. They were in the Northeast, and there was a historic home that was moved from a location to an island, and they had moved it because they it was a part of like a national park, and then there was a lot of activity that started on the island because of it after it was moved, and they figured out through their investigation that it was a lot of that energy was attached to the original house that was moved.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Terry said Travel the Dead, it's on YouTube, it's pretty good. That's the show she was talking about with that lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Corinne recommended read about the H-3 in Hawaii. They talk about a lot of stuff happening.
Wow. H dash. Okay. In
Yeah.
Hawaii, huh?
Yeah. We're getting all sorts of good information to follow up on.
Yeah. I know. You know, I bet we could. I bet Hawaii is a place that is very active.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after the latest events that happened out that way last year.
Mm-hmm.
But there's
Yeah.
a lot of activity. Kelsey, yes, I've seen that too. So, we have a video coming. I'm not going to tell them. I ain't going to tell them about it. But I'm going
You're just going to tease
I'm
them?
going to tease them. I ain't going to tell
Okay.
them. I'm going to tease them.
All
okay?
right. Go ahead.
All right. Teasing time. We got a video coming out with a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a video. So we've been around, obviously you guys know, we've been around people, spirits that's lost their lives in so many different forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ways and all that. Tragic or peacefully or, whatever. This is the first time that one really, how can I put it without giving it away? Physically showed us, in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
We heard how they passed away, and then it physically showed us. Yeah, it's never happened. Does that make sense? So, I don't help me.
That makes sense.
drowning.
And they're saying, wow. So it makes sense.
Okay,
What you
it
said makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they passed away, and then we physically experienced, in a way, not obviously how they passed, but some physical signs of how they passed. I'll say that, and that's never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some. Should I tell them about that part, the leading part, or no? A little bit, or no?
Well, you've already teased them, so just keep teasing them. Don't tell them.
Okay, possibly we may or may not had an animal lead us to where we were supposed to talk to somebody. It's mind-blowing. It sounds wild, but I'm pretty sure this animal led us to where we were supposed to go. We need y'all's help trying to figure that out, but it sure seemed that way. So
Stay tuned.
it's wild. It's wild, y'all. Wild. I think you notice these conversations, investigations, all that, they get more and more.
I don't know if intense is the right word,
No.
but they get more.
More open, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that a good word to use?
Yeah. They get more like.
Can't wait, a cardinal, a cat, a dog. Got me on that one. We must be having a different conversation.
Well, I think because Lozaria's been talking to some of the animals too, so she can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't a cardinal, wasn't a cat, and it wasn't a dog. It was not, we can take them off the list. It was not none of them. What animal led them? I'll give you a hint. Okay, that's not a good hint. That's a little morbid. It's a little sad. I was going to mention there was a movie made about it. Remember? We were kids. I won't talk about that. That might be sad. It had 4 legs, and let's see, they're fast. They run fast. I'll say that, and I'll stop. You might as well tell us. Johanna, come on now. Okay, it was a deer. A deer possibly led us. I'm not going to say possibly. I feel it. I feel it in the soul.
Yes.
That deer led us over there. I'm
Yes.
serious. Yes, a deer. You're a good guesser, MJ.
Terry, I think it was Terry.
Free Willy.
They're asking how far Louisville is to Yeah, Terry did ask. How far is Louisville from Cleveland by car? I don't know.
Like probably 4 or 5 hours, I'd think.
I was going to guess 6, so you're probably closer.
Yeah, I'd say 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're further south in Kentucky, so we just come to Louisville to work some. I got an office there. Kelsey has an office there, so we drive up there some. But yeah, we're further south in Kentucky, so I don't know. Did they find a?
Terry said, I'm entertaining a trip to Louisville next year when I visit my mom.
Oh, you should go to Cave Hill.
Yeah. Lazaria said, did they find Grandma the one they ran over?
Oh, well, the reindeer got her. The reindeer got that grandma. No. You know what's funny? I've done a. Remember when we asked Meemaw that if she thinks it's funny when I joke about
Yes.
her? Because I do use funny grandma jokes about my grandma. Y'all just had to know my grandma. She had a very similar personality to me.
Yeah.
Except she get mean though. She get me if I got trouble, did something, she get me. She get me. But yeah, I asked her. I said, "Did you ever hear my grandma got ran over by a reindeer joke? Is that okay?" And she said, "Yes." We're good. I picture your mom. Picture your mom doing the salute.
Terry said her ancestors are from there in Cave Hill, which we still have that information saved because we'd like to go back because I remember that from the live. So.
Yeah.
But we haven't made it back up to Cave Hill
yeah.
yet.
Yeah, her was it grandpa? Uncle?
Terry, was it grandpa or great grandpa?
Was it 2 people? I think she had 2 people.
But they were there was possibly not a headstone, but she had the section information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what she says.
Remember that. Yeah, you know what
Great. 3 greats.
Great.
No headstone. Yeah.
Yeah, no headstone. I remember that. Okay.
But then you had the like the section it's supposed to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you know what? If you're going to do that, do you want to wait for us to go and do that conversation? We'll do it with you when you come visit. Let us know, Miss Terry. When I get rich, I'm going to buy one for him. Oh, headstone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good, huh?
She said, okay.
Okay, so we'll do it then. Now I don't feel as bad.
Yeah. I know some cemeteries allow the small placards that are kind of like raised out of the ground that have like the name and the dates. I wonder if Cave Hill is one of those that would allow like a placard instead of a headstone, or if they have like certain rules where you can't do that. Because I know some communities are stricter than others.
I wonder, I mean, here's something I thought about.
What?
Can you just put a marker, like a thing with their name, kind of like the old days?
The like a little placard. Can you just
we did
stick
for
one?
Mr. Stickler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you do that at a cemetery?
I don't know. Well, that's what I was saying. Some cemeteries allow you to. Some of them don't have rules about it, but some cemeteries like Cave Hill that are considered historic have a little bit more rules. So technically you're not supposed to, but it kind of depends on the community.
We could sneak in there. Just put it in there. If you need us to do that, let us know.
Yes. Terry said, I've asked. Terry, is it $1,200 for the headstone?
Yeah, I agree, Mel. It's ridiculous. They make a lot of money off of people losing, passing away.
Terry said, I'll get him a placard. Yes, for a placard. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Well, if you order it let us know when we'll come and pay our respects. Even if it's before we do a conversation with them, before you come down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's wild, the expenses. Yeah. Yeah, it's a sad thing to see that sometimes. Throw me in the river. Well, I just had that. Remember that bass, that fish? Take me to the river. That little flipping. That's what I thought of. Let you go down the river. Kelsey and I said take it to the mountains. The Smoky Mountains spread us out there.
Yes.
Made my mom's headstone out of a big chunk of quartz. Oh, nice. Nice. Man, we put coffee grounds in Kelsey's mom's with her ashes. She loved coffee. And Kelsey and I was like, all right, it's cheap hotel coffee. I apologize, Mom, but we're going to put this.
She loved it, though.
She liked it. She told us. We asked her, and she said she liked it. It was funny. And it's like a little, the three of us know, she did.
Well, now they all know, too.
Yeah, but like the family don't know.
No, the family doesn't know, so don't tell them.
Don't tell. They don't watch us anyways.
No, they don't.
Well, your dad would laugh about it, though.
Yes.
They get you coming and going.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really did. Courtney said, really?
Yeah, we did. We put it in there. Well, we didn't intend to. It was a lot. When her mom passed, there was a lot because she was in Florida and she was going to be buried in a different state with her parents. And so we had to go to that state. And her brother was down in Florida and he had issues bringing the ashes back. It was just a lot. So somehow a package of hotel coffee got put in a bag with the ashes that he gave us. So when we picked the box up, or the bag, there was a thing of coffee in there. So we looked at each other and we're like, oh, Mom loves coffee. Let's just give her some, we'll just pour it in there. So we put our coffee in there. I won't hold it against y'all.
At least she's caffeinated. Yes.
Yeah. She talked a lot before, but now she ain't going to be quiet. She's on that caffeine. And she liked to talk. So a couple people, supporters of the channel, has actually had conversations with Judy.
Yes, they have.
Which makes Kelsey really happy. Makes us both really happy.
Yes.
Because she loves that.
Yes. Melissa said, I'd rather my ashes be scattered in my mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. Not the commode. Don't flush me down the toilet. Well, anybody got any questions before we wrap it up? What's going on? What time is it? 9:40.
It's 15 minutes till 10.
You're a night owl. I mean, you're an early bird.
I'm an early bird, yeah.
She's gonna turn into a pumpkin.
I've been discreetly trying to not yawn over here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you'll know when Kelsey gets tired. She gets quieter. She slows down a little bit. And then this curl right here, look, it gets curlier. That's her tired curl. Here's her angry curl. And then when this one sticks up like that, that's Josh. You better haul tail. That's all I got to say. And duck, because she's going to throw something at you. That's how I lost my finger, like that. Look, she threw a kitchen knife at me, and I tried to catch it. She took it right off, y'all. Took it right off. I'm just kidding. She don't throw stuff. She might want to sometimes. She never does. Never does.
They're saying that they enjoyed the Q&A.
Well, good. We just come over here and ramble.
Yes.
Shoot the breeze a little bit. Catch up with y'all. What does this say? I think she keeps you in line, Josh.
Yes, definitely.
I'm talking about I'm an angel. All right. Well, good. Are you about ready to roll on out?
I guess I am.
I gotta put her to bed.
Well, I really enjoyed talking about the Opera House because it was amazing, and I'm so happy that we got to share that with y'all, and cannot wait to go back there.
Yeah, I know it's been probably a month or so since we've done a sit down live, so we're definitely going to do another one. We've just been so busy So
Yes.
it's been nuts. I think for 2 weeks I only saw you a couple times.
Yeah. But
So thanks, Josh and Kelsey. Enjoyed hanging out. Hey, thank you.
yeah, we
Thank you
loved
so
hanging
much,
out with
Bill.
y'all too. So thank you for getting on here
And keep your eyes peeled, because we might go live sometime next week if we get a little time.
Yes.
We got it back traveling a little bit again, but
yes.
we're going to try to fit in a live. If not, then it'll be the following week, I'm sure. So. All right. Well, y'all have a blessed one. Go check out Lazaria, Detective Lazaria. She might have posted the link. And Brandon Maddox Music, my buddy. If you like country music, check him out.
Yes.
And y'all have a good one. See you later.
Bye.
I'll read that one.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Where's the finger button? Sorry.